got you. Speaking of Marquez, man, um, what is he doing there? I mean, like you said, he's turning down fights like Sean Porter, and again, everybody is criticizing Mayweather, but Mayweather, he's still fighting, young, hungry talent,
Young
and
champions. Yeah.
you don't get no younger, well, you don't get no hungrier, than a guy like Showtime Porter. So, what did Marquez? What was his reasoning behind turning down that fight?
And see, this is
He's
the
too young and hungry. Did he tell the truth?
man.
Did Nacho step up and tell the truth?
Man, Nacho, the truth came out. Put it like that. The
For
truth came
sure.
out. And since we're talking about that, what actually happened was Marquez, like I said, after he lost to Tim Bradley, he
Mm-hmm.
wanted the rematch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, first of all, speaking of the Tim Bradley rematch, Marquez he loses to Tim Bradley, and it's not a disputed loss for one.
Absolutely
You
not.
know,
Absolutely not.
post fight conference, Marquez is in the at the conference with Bradley. He's over here saying how I keep getting robbed and I got robbed in this fight, et cetera, et cetera. He's standing right next to Tim Bradley. Never does he say congratulations to Tim Bradley. Never does he shake his hand, not in the ring or in the post fight conference, right? But then you want to ask for a rematch? I mean, how can you be that disrespectful and then ask for a rematch, and then on top of it, you don't even deserve it? So what happens after that is, Bradley, they're not too crazy to really give him a rematch because they feel they got nothing to prove,
Mm,
right?
mm,
So now Provodnikov comes up,
mm,
and WBO president and HBO and everyone,
mm.
they want to see Provodnikov versus
Marquez,
Marquez. It
absolutely,
makes all the sense in the world.
for sure.
Provodnikov was just involved in Fighter of the Year,
Mm-hmm.
a Fight of the Year with
Mm-hmm.
Tim Bradley,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're going against a warrior like Juan Marquez.
Mm-hmm.
It makes all the sense in the world,
Absolutely.
right? Now, what's so funny about this is Marquez he turns down the fight
Mm,
many times, right?
mm.
And then instead of fighting Provodnikov, who does he fight? Now he's signed to fight the guy that Provodnikov just beat the hell out of, which is Mike Alvarado.
Oh,
That's
right. That's okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
What?
that's who he's fighting now. But let me say this real quick. You know what's so funny about this, Norin,
Uh.
is I remember Marquez. He did an article or he did an interview
Mm-hmm.
where he was
Mm-hmm.
criticizing Floyd Mayweather,
Mm.
and I always say a lot of times boxers they hear the casual fans on the street talk so much
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that they become infected and
Mm-hmm.
they start
Mm-hmm.
talking like them,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So Marquez he tells everyone this was actually before the Robert Guerrero fight against Mayweather, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He said, I don't think that Mayweather is going to choose Robert Guerrero because Floyd doesn't like to fight aggressive fighters that come forward. So he's going to pick someone like a Devin Alexander because Floyd likes to fight boxers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
of course, Floyd Mayweather, he proved him wrong, just like he always proves casual fans
Of
wrong.
course.
And now Marquez is in the same situation.
Mm.
He has an aggressive, strong young fighter who's calling him out. Matter of fact, the guy is still he's moving up in weight,
Mm-hmm.
and Marquez decides to turn that fight down. The same thing he was accusing Floyd Mayweather of doing is exactly what he's doing now. What you think about that?
I think our friend Mark, which I have so much. No, I'm saying because it's I'm being cynical because again, Dante, you know how we talk, bro. The respect I have for professional fighters, for guys that dedicate their life to this sport, to this discipline, I mean, it's very high.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very high. But at the same time, we know that these guys, they're dealing with their, like you said, they're not as influential sometimes as they are impressionable. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like you said, yeah, they are also subject to, like you said, hear the cries of the casual fan and kind of get swayed in that direction. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And when they kind of fall victim to that, you kind of got to poke fun at them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like I said, no, taking away no respect from these guys. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like Marquez. He needs a lesson. He needs to understand. Marquez obviously doesn't understand karma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like you said, he ends up painting himself as a total hypocrite. I mean, after the third Pacquiao fight, it's like to me he clearly won that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly won that fight. And it's like uh, he was robbed. He wanted his vindication. He got it. But then for him to turn around and not give a guy his credit when he wins, when Bradley clearly beat you, clearly outboxed you.
Hmm.
You know, for you to not give that credit where it's due, you know what I mean? It makes you seem like, you know, a sore loser at best. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? No sportsmanship. So again, what you're saying as far as him criticizing Mayweather, you know, for not you know, well, he wasn't going to fight the aggressive guy. He wants to fight you know, a light punching boxer and Alexander and the other guy. And of course, we all know Floyd went and fought Guerrero and shut him out, of course. Um, and now for him to be in the same predicament, you know, and again, I mean, you know, it's just a testament for what I just said. It's like, you know, Marquez, you know, you're great, you know, you're a Hall of Fame boxer. I have the utmost respect for you, but it's like, you know, you're, you know, the perfect example of a hypocrite right now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you continue to be so. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, you know, take a look at the man in the mirror, Marquez. You know, like seriously, you know. Take the tough fight, man. Take the tough. We know you had. I mean, we know you've had a Hall of Fame career. You've been in a lot of wars, and you know, at this stage of your career, you're pretty much entitled to, do whatever you go, do whatever you feel you need to do, man. You know, because you're gonna coast. You're already in the Hall of Fame. You've already proven yourself. But at the same time, don't criticize the best guy in the sport, and you're doing the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, the thing, like you said, he really doesn't have to do a whole lot, anymore.
Mm.
But yet at the same time, no, if you're going to be considered pound for pound one of the best fighters in
And
the
if you're
world,
going to be considered this
then you got to fight the
Aztec
best.
warrior,
Yeah, yeah. Then
exactly,
you got to
I
fight the
agree.
best.
I agree.
Now, if you're not going to fight the best anymore, then I would say, okay, it doesn't really matter who you fight. You could just, put it on cruise control,
Hmm.
fight a couple bums,
Hmm.
et cetera, et cetera. Use the
Hmm.
age excuse.
Hmm.
You could do that.
Exactly.
But if you do that, you're not pound for pound one of the best fighters anymore. You're just some guy who's just collecting checks. Like when Chavez Sr. went on a tour, after his
Hmm.
career
Hmm.
and just start fighting old guys
Hmm.
just for entertainment,
Hmm.
purposes.
Put it,
So
hey, put it on cruise control and shut your mouth.
yeah,
You know what I
exactly,
mean? Hey,
exactly.
don't criticize somebody and you're doing the same exact
and
thing.
and you're doing the exact same thing.
You know?
And like I said, man, a lot of people who defend Marquez, they'll go ahead and, like I said, they'll use the age factor.
Mm.
But the thing is, you can't really use that excuse anymore
B
because,
hop.
yeah, B Hop, you
Hmm.
got B Hop at 49.
Come on.
Glenn Johnson was looking, he was looking vicious all the way to like his mid 40s,
Hmm.
or however old he is.
Hmm.
Floyd Mayweather is closer to 40 than he is to 30.
Absolutely.
You can't really use that excuse. Like I said, and if you are going to use that excuse, then, you might as well put yourself in the senior citizens pound for pound list.
Hmm.
You're not one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world if you're not going to fight the best. Like I said, a lot of people defended Marquez for not taking on Provodnikov and fighting Mike Alvarado. But like I said, the whole thing is you're saying, oh, he just came off of a loss. Let the man get a soft touch, et cetera, et cetera. But are you telling me that he's going to fight Provodnikov after he gets a couple consecutive wins? No. If you listen to what Marquez is saying in interviews, he's not going to fight Provodnikov at all. He's not. He's not. He has no intentions of fighting Sean Porter.
Hmm.
He only wants to fight who he wants to fight.
Hmm.
And that's like I said, he says it's
Right.
Bradley.
So he'll basically sorry, Dante, not to cut
No,
you off, bro.
go ahead,
Yeah,
man. Go ahead.
he'll basically take, like you said, a soft touch, and then it's either Bradley or Pacquiao.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
then what is he going to do after that? Then he going to go back to fighting another Mike Alvarado.
Exactly.
This is, but see, and people use the age excuse, but the truth is, Marquez, he's been doing this since day one.
Mm.
Marquez, every time Marquez was chasing the Pacquiao fight, he made sure he didn't fight anyone in between.
Mm.
And like you said, people criticize Floyd Mayweather, but Floyd Mayweather is fighting champions. He's
Absolutely.
fighting young guys coming off of big wins.
Mhm.
He's not fighting the Mike Alvarado, who just got the hell beat out of him, had a concussion in the fight. He's not fighting those type of guys.
Mhm.
So, once again, it's sad that the double standards they exist in the sport of boxing.
Again, that's we definitely explore the double standards. Again, quick plug in the book. We explore those extensively in the social politics of the sweet science. So, we'll have that as a hand guide. For future reference. So all these double standards, that we're seeing today. Like I said, these are all stories that we've seen before.
Yeah.
And we've already seen the outcome, which is again why guys like us we can talk from such a factual basis. You know what I mean? Because again, we have historical hindsight. You know, so we already know what the outcomes and conclusions. But imagine that. Let's use our imaginations or the right hemispheres of our brain, as some of us like to say. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
imagine if Floyd would have announced he was fighting an opponent like Mike Alvarado. Imagine that. Imagine the woo.
The backlash would have been ridiculous. The backlash would have been ridiculous. Like I said, it's
Stick to
almost,
that.
and I won't even say almost,
Mm.
it's a compliment. And the people
it
who's trying to
certainly is.
insult Floyd Mayweather, they don't realize how much of it's a compliment when you say, "Oh,
That's
you
how
fight."
clueless they are.
Yeah, that's how clueless they are.
How stupid they. Okay.
Because think about it, you all of a sudden Floyd Mayweather's fighting Maidana. What are the casual fans gonna say? They're gonna say, "Oh, you picking another easy
Cherry
fight."
picking.
Yeah, you're
Another
cherry picking.
flat-footed, slow. Da da da. Never
Yeah.
mind, he beat the guy that's again, all respect to Broner, but that's basically a Mayweather clone.
Exactly.
Never mind that he's coming off the biggest victory of his life. He deserves the fight, but he's cherry picking again, of course.
Yeah.
Mayweather.
But if you were to put Khan, let me ask you, if you were to put Khan against Marquez, if you were to put Maidana against Marquez, how would you see them fight? You would see them fights as close, or
Of course.
right? It
Great,
would.
yeah.
No one would say that.
That's a great fight. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Yeah, no one would call it cherry picking. Matter of fact,
Absolutely
me personally, I would pick Khan to beat Marquez. And
I can see
Maidana.
that.
Yeah, and Maidana, as far as I'm concerned, that would be like a 50-50 fight.
Mhm.
But Khan, the foot movement, and just real quick, since I'm bringing up Khan Marquez, this is another guy that Marquez actually avoided like 2-3 years
Wow.
ago. When Khan was on top,
Mhm.
before he started to decline,
Mhm.
he had just beat Marco Antonio Barrera.
Mhm.
This is when he was on top, when he was soaring, right?
Mhm.
Right after he beat Marco Antonio Barrera, he called out Marquez.
Mm.
And Nacho says straight up, he made it real. He didn't try to beat around the bush or nothing. He said that's not a good fight for us.
No, it's a bad style
Yeah,
matchup.
it's a bad
Yeah.
style matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
So the point that I'm making is Floyd Mayweather is on such a high level, even to the detractors, that when he fights against someone like a Marcos Maidana, it's easy cherry picking.
Exactly.
When
Exactly.
Broner fights him, Maidana wins.
Mhm.
And you got people sending me messages like, "Oh, you were crazy, Dontae. You thought that Broner was going to beat Maidana, et cetera, et cetera." But now all of a sudden, Maidana's fighting against Mayweather, and it's cherry picking because they're letting people know the level that Floyd Mayweather's on.
Can there be a higher compliment?
There can't be. There can't be.
Unbeknownst to the detractors?
Yeah.
No?
Because, like I said, same thing with Manny Pacquiao. If Manny Pacquiao was fighting against Robert Guerrero, he was fighting against Victor Ortiz right after Victor Ortiz just won the welterweight title.
Great
If
fight.
he was fighting against Canelo Alvarez,
Oh, come on. Come
which
on.
which I don't even think I would pick Pacquiao to win that fight.
Absolutely not.
Like I said, it's the compliments. It's the compliments. It's a hidden compliment, and they don't even realize that they're giving him a compliment.
Exactly. But again, here I go with the book. But again,
No.
it's just
Talk about it.
You already know, bro. Appreciate it. It's that's the underlying, because what we see on the, I mean, there's a word, it's superficial. You know what I mean? That's the superficial. But it's like I've heard you say before, Dante. What is a guy really saying? What are they really saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Learn to read between the lines.
between
You know
the
what I mean? Let's utilize a little bit of insight, when we're hearing things, Let's hear a little bit deeper, or see a little bit deeper as it is. And again, this is the acknowledgement of the greatness. They hate it because they've been conditioned.
Yeah.
They've been conditioned to hate it,
Programmed, yeah.
Exactly, programmed. I mean, mediocrity, at best, is what they have, been taught to accept, or to applaud. Let's applaud mediocrity. Let's not be too great, and then let's not be too great and represent a certain demographic.
Yeah.
Keeping it politically correct, so to speak. But like I said, we speak the full truth, so it's no problem.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But that's what it is. So still, like you said, even in the midst of all your detraction, all of your, buffoonery, you know what I mean? Still the acknowledgement of greatness, you can't escape it. You know, it's still there.
Yeah.
Because like you're saying everybody's short of who? Everybody's short of, of again of Mayweather fighting Ward or Klitschko. You know, of him